Well, originally I was destined to go to law school. It's all I ever wanted to do. I worked as a law clerk when I was 14 years old in a law firm in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where I was born. And that's all I ever thought about. Frankly, never considered anything else. But I also felt that I probably wouldn't practice law the rest of my life. I would get a legal education. I would practice it, and was always interested in business. And then when I went to undergraduate, then I had my first economics class, which was with a professor named Dr. Pilgrim, and it was something that just totally clicked with me. It was actually almost comical because most of my friends, fraternity brothers, people I was playing football with in college, were struggling, barely getting by in the class, and it was just it was easy. It was like so natural for me. And I remember very distinctly once I got a 98 on a test, and I went up to go complain because I felt that he shouldn't have taken the 2 points off and I should have gotten 100. And all of my friends almost threw me out the room, at that time. But it was one of those things that just clicked with me, and it stayed in my mind. I had a chance to come out here to USC's business school, and then I had a chance to really study under some world-class professors, one of which has become very, very notable, Arthur Laffer, who, for those of you who remember, basically he wrote the Laffer curve, which was the first model that really took taxation into consideration. And later on, it really became known as supply-side economics, or Reaganomics, as most of you know it. And so I really had a chance to watch all that go from literally the blackboard into literally national public economic policy. And so I was continuing on, and actually had been accepted in the law school. I was going to go to law school. I was frankly 2 weeks away from going to law school. And my father actually was working on his MBA at Pepperdine, and there was a guy in his class that said he had a small investment firm and they were really going to try to build that up. It wasn't even their primary business. And they started talking, and the person said, well, you should have your son come meet with me. And my dad came home, and I said, Dad, all I want to do is be a lawyer. I said, I'm literally accepted in law school. I said, I'm leaving in 2 weeks, Dad, to go to law school, and you want me to go talk to this guy about a completely unrelated field? And he said, yeah, I do. He said, I think the guy is starting an interesting project. And he said, what's the hurt? Go up there and have lunch. Well, needless to say, that person was a very good salesman. And actually, I really began to think about what he was saying. And again, going in the back of my mind was this tremendous interest that had developed in economics and the economy and economic research, and just how fascinating it had become to me. And really sat back and had some come to know Jesus thought sessions, and said, well, you know what? I guess I can always go on to graduate school or law school later, and this is kind of a unique opportunity with a startup firm. Literally, they had under 40 million under management, which barely pays for a cup of coffee in this business now. And I thought, all right, well, I'll go give it a try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm young, I'm single, I'm 22 years old. I was used to being broke and starving, so a little more broke and starving didn't really matter. And so I went. They had their office building was right across the freeway from where we are now in Westwood. And they gave me a very small office that I had to take the brooms and the sweepers out to get in there. They gave me a telephone. I had no salary, no draw, no expenses, absolutely nothing. But you know what? I loved it. And so I pretty well starved to death for the first 2 years and just kind of slowly built clientele, and that's where we started, and we're a little over $5 billion now. So it's been a fun journey.